guys, it's Christine Bertram, and I am coming to you live from the Hive on a Monday. It's 1 p.m. Central, and today marks the first day of my leave of absence for a month to give the Stampin' Thing a go. With all my focus on it solely. So that's super exciting. And lo and behold, I have a class scheduled for the first day. That's how it worked out. So today is February 7th, and we're going to be doing the Let's Just Stamp class, and it's going to be featuring the Flowing Flowers stamp set. This is the class that I designed the cards with Diane Bogenhagen, and she teaches the in-person class here in the Hive, and then I do the online version. Hi Kathy King, hi Sandy. And so here we are, my first ever live class on a Monday afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi, Doris Swanson. It just feels a little weird. Woke up this morning, not quite sure if I should feel any different or what. Hi, Randy from Southwest Michigan. So we're going to see how it goes. So going forward, I do have this class slated for Mondays. I think the second Monday is generally when I have it set for. Hi, Mary Jo. Hi, Sue. Hi, Karen. Hi, Sherry Martin. Hi, Carissa. And there's Kathy King. Love this time. Happy leave of absence. Thank you so much, Kathy. It's just weird. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to get up and I'm going to design all the cards for the hand-penned ink, paper, scissors that's coming up in a couple weeks. And lo and behold, I worked on a lot of everything else except for that. So it's so crazy, the schedule. You think, I'm going to get all this stuff done, and then it's the same things. Other things take precedence. So thanks for sharing. Hi, Arliss. Yay. So it's really crazy because I also have another afternoon class set for Wednesday, the 9th. It's the monthly card class, and it's in person. You guys, I have 8 people for my in-person class on 1 o'clock on Wednesday. It's crazy. Hi, Betty. Hi, Bonnie. Okay. So I was curious how many people were going to be joining me live today, since it is a Monday afternoon. It's not normal, typical time for me to be live. It's especially weird because it's during the weekday. So hi, Linda. I'm so happy that you love my channel. Hi, Laura Weigand. So we are going to make the cards in a little bit. I'll do roll call too as well. Just a recap on Thursday night, you guys. Oh, it was so crazy. For some reason, I can't even tell you why. Hi, Barb Johnson. Hi, Laura Sullivan from Ohio. I can't tell you what happened on Thursday night. Hi, Teresa from Michigan. And there's Kathy Groves. Woohoo! At lunch, you can watch for a minute. Okay, then you can catch the replay. Hi, Elizabeth. So something happened on Thursday night. I can't explain to you what, but I'm so happy that it didn't happen until the last 10 minutes. It stopped streaming to Facebook, and I was having issues too on my phone watching along. It was kicking me out left and right. So I know I was having issues. You guys were having issues. The good thing about it is that the upload never has issues. Hi, Kay. So the entire video was uploaded. So hi, Rose from Canada. Yay, I'm glad you love it. So fortunately, it was only 10 minutes left, and I kept working on the last card until the very end. And hi, Robin from Troy, Michigan. And so what I had to do after the live ended, I still did the door prize drawing, so that stayed consistent with that class, but I had to download it from my tablet, upload it into my computer, and then I had to upload it to Facebook. And the upload, hi Patsy Roberts, the upload took 3 hours to get it back into Facebook. So now there are 2 videos out there, so not to be confusing for anybody, but I did try to reference them. Hi Patricia Settle, hi Terry Costin. I did try to reference that this is the full video, and it doesn't have a lot of the comments that were from the live video. But I also did reference in the video that was short, the 10 minutes, that this is not the full video, but it has all the comments. So if you missed the last 10 minutes, you can always go to the full video and catch all the last 10 minutes of the other video. So it's all there. It was just sad because it was my favorite card that I was working on. And then you guys weren't even able to make it with me. Oh, hi, Mary Ellen from Montana. So that's a little bit about what happened. I can't explain to you why that stuff happens, and I wanted to say stupid stuff, but I shouldn't say stupid. I don't know why it happens, but I went and I looked, and Kelly had deleted all the prior videos out of Switcher Studio, so it wasn't like there was an enormous amount of videos, but Anna Rebedu referenced me to a different platform that I'm going to look into, because this whole craziness with the freezing is weird. And you know, it has something to do with how many people are on the internet, and the weather, I think, plays a factor. I really do. So let's just keep the fingers crossed that we're good today. So, you know, if it ever does freeze at the end, you guys just know that I catch that, and I will make sure to get the whole video uploaded. And if it does freeze for you and I'm not freezing, then it's something more on your end with the downloading of the data for the Facebook Live, and sometimes it has to do with comments. So I know we always have issues with this stuff. Hi, Tiffany from Mayville. Woohoo! So, okay, you guys, I did announce, I don't have any more of the ink, paper, scissors left from last week. That's gone. Hi, Marcia. But I did say that I had a couple spots left that I was planning for. I made all the extra card kits for the Stamp-A-Stack. And I had somebody that is declining on it today. And then I also estimated 2 extra where I've made all the card kits, but I don't necessarily have the products for them. But I am taking 3 more people for the Stamp-A-Stack. And so I did say it was closed on Thursday, but I am saying now it's back open because I'm planning for 3 more. So hi, Jean Terwilliger. So I'm going to flip the camera down and I'm going to show you those cards in case anybody's interested. The team price is not available because I am planning on the full option 1 or 2, which is the full like package with the designer paper, the sea glass shapes, the ribbon, and then the envelopes. And again, there's 3. And then I'm also going to tell you what we got coming up for the rest of the week. So in case anybody wants to get signed up for classes, I'll go through these relatively quick, you guys, just so that we stay focused on the class today. And I have so many cards coming up yet with you guys. It's so crazy. Okay, so let's think here. Oh, the gumball card. I think you guys might know what the gumball card looks like. It's actually up on my board, and I'm not going to go grab it. Hi, Susie Snow. Hi, Ann Bellinger. So I'll flip the camera down, and we're going to roll through what's still coming up because there's so many classes coming up yet. It's crazy. It's like I feel like we're already through February, but we're just starting. It's February 7th. So, okay, so on, there's a glare there, so I'm going to move that. So on Thursday night, the 10th, or in person on Wednesday, or on the 19th, you guys. So there's a gumball card that goes with this, you guys. The gumball card, I'm going to go get it because it's so adorable. Hang on. Life's been a little busy, and I haven't even made my extra samples. And so the only sample I have of this guy is up on the board. So, but it's so crazy. It's got the gumballs in it. So you guys will get the little dome plus a little poly bag of the little gumballs to put in there. They're the frosted beads. So hi, Carol Sanquinetti. I'm like, I know I got to try to slow down for your name. Sanquinetti. So this is the gumball. Then there's the rainbow card. And then there's also the ranunculus rose card. So you guys, I do have a few of this one, maybe 5 left to sign up for this one. That's this week. And then this is the Stamp-A-Stack. That's the gumball card. Okay. The Stamp-A-Stack, if you guys are curious, it features artfully layered or artfully composed suite of products. If you don't have the stamp set, you are okay. You need a sentiment here. And you guys, this one's a little bit of a fun fold, so it opens like this. Oh, Carissa, I just saw your... Oh, is that Carissa? I think that's Carissa, right? Yep, Carissa, I just saw that you want to Stamp-A-Stack. Okay, like your picture looked a little squished in the corner. I want to make sure that was you. So then I have 2 left, you guys. So this is Stamp-A-Stack. All right, so there's the one. A little bit of a fun fold for that. You guys, I'll show you how to do the fraying of the ribbon. It's such a cool technique. Here's another one. So you guys, with the Stamp-A-Stack, it's $50 for porch pickup. Where are you in Maryland? Oh, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. So this is a pack of designer paper. You get the faux sea glass shapes. You get a roll of ribbon, a pack of envelopes, and 16 card kits. Okay, so you're making 4 of each one. So sentiment. And you guys, on this one, you need a sentiment and then the ladybug spots. Okay, so not much needed for outside stamping. It's the inside that I used the stamps from the kit where it has leaves on it. So, all right, so it looks like I have 2 left of this one. And then, you guys, we have 2 more classes. The Heart and Home class is coming up then next week, the 17th, for you guys that are online. It features the Heart and Home and Honeybee Blossoms or Honeybee Blessing stamp set. And we're going to be making these 4 cards. So again, I kept it very simple, you guys. Flower stamp here in a sentiment. This is the flower stamp that goes with the set, and then a sentiment. This is just a sentiment. This is a sentiment, and then the flower. So if you guys want to sign up for any of the classes, just make sure to email me or text me or call me or Facebook message me so I can catch that. And then for the sale-a-bration Hoorah Rah, which is the 25th for you guys online, we're going to be doing the Island Vibes with the pineapple and then a thank you card. And then it's the Hello Friendly with the little birdie and a birthday card. And then this one is the Driving By, I think. Hi, Karen Train from Erie, Michigan. You're on the bike at the Y. I love it. And so that opens like that. And then there's a little inside that goes on this one. So that's that card. And then the last one, you guys will either get one of the three colors. The way the designer paper works is that there's multiple sheets in the pack, and you'll either get purple, blue, or the pale papaya. And they're basically the same card, and I'm making a third of each one. And so what happens is it's designer series paper takes up a half a sheet of 12 by 12. And so like it opens like that, and then the heart from here is the heart from there. So cool. So that is sale-a-bration Hoorah Rah. So that's a lot of stuff, you guys. That's 4. There's a 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the stamp-a-stack 5 monthly, 6 classes yet before we start today. Isn't that crazy? Okay, and then my plan is to start designing for March, you guys. I got to get the ink, paper, scissors for hand pen done, and then I'll start working on the March classes. So then as soon as I get some of that stuff, I will be showing that to you. Oh, Betty would like a stamp-a-stack. So Betty, I think we have you set up to do, I think you sent a check for the last class. So if you just want to pop another check in the mail for $63, I will mark you for the stamp-a-stack, you guys. I need to write this down. I don't generally like to do this during class, but I'm going to because I don't want to overcommit any kits. So Betty and Carissa, FYI, I have you two down for the stamp-a-stack. Betty, yours is 63 because it needs to be mailed, and Carissa's is 50 because it's porch pickup. Okay, perfect. So that's what we got for what's coming up. You guys, I'll be honest with you, I did not get the scavenger hunts graded. They are all right here. I do have a pile of them. The teacher and me did not come out yet to grade them. So, it's like, it'll happen. So as soon as I have them graded, you guys, I'm going to pop on and do a spontaneous live going through the answers to show you what we came up with collectively as the right answer. And then I will also announce who the winner is. And the winner gets a $20 gift certificate. So that's exciting. The sale-a-bration board, you guys, there's about 4 more spots or 5 more spots, and I'll do a drawing probably, it sounds like, on Thursday night or Wednesday night for a shopping spree for the 5th sale-a-bration board. So that's exciting. So, okay. So I do want to say that this is the Let's Just Stamp card class. It's geared towards beginners, but all are welcome. I did an in-depth video. I always refer back to this one because I feel like once you've done a video, you don't need to keep redoing the same video over and over again. And in the description of this specific video for today, I referenced that video. Thanks for sharing, Arliss. I did reference the video. I think it was from July 24th or 25th or 23rd, something like that. But whatever it is, I put the link for the video. So if you're new to me or you're a new stamper and you want some more information about like what does it all mean to just get started with stamping, like what do I need, it may seem overwhelming when you first get started, and I don't like for you to feel overwhelmed. I mean, it's an okay thing if you're like positively overwhelmed in like a good way, but to be negatively overwhelmed and just it's too much, then that's sad, because stamping is such a fun, creative, therapeutic hobby that you can find so much enjoyment in, and you can actually brighten other people's days by making them handmade greeting cards or projects or like frames or anything. Oh, Patsy wants a stamp-a-stack. Okay, you guys, I think they're gone, okay? So if anybody else references or messages me, just know that Patsy, Betty, and Carissa got them, okay? So Patsy, you would be another one that you need yours mailed, so it would be 63. And I think Patsy, I think that you send me money electronically. So I'm trying to remember how everybody's pays me, and I don't always remember. So hi, Amy Ponce. So So this class was started because I used to do a beginner's class way back in the day, and it doesn't, in person, you don't always get like but one or two people. And then the pandemic started, and so I really wasn't getting a lot of people for beginner's class. So I kind of like let it by the wayside. But Tyler said to me, like, Chris, you make so many like in-depth cards, like that's kind of intimidating for people. and so he's like, you should go back to the basics and do some like not die cutting, not embossing, and keep it more simple. And that's great, and that's all fine and dandy, and I love that. And so I reached out to Diane, and I have so many classes on my plate, so I thought, well, maybe Diane will do the in-person version. And so that's how this class kind of came to be, and it's fun to design them with Diane, and we love layers though. So the thing is, that's one thing that these cards may not look like beginner cards. Like, we do love to add layers, and we love ribbon, and we love embellishments. But the main thing is that we try to like stay away from using the Stampin' Cut and emboss machine, because as a beginner, you most likely don't have that. And so you won't be die cutting, and you won't be embossing. You may have a punch or two, so sometimes we'll throw in a punch, but we try to keep these cards just stamping. Ink, paper, stamps. Okay, and so one of the things that I started off that other video from July with is that you need 5 things to stamp primarily: paper, stamps, ink, adhesive, and something to cut with. Like, those are the 5 main things. And so I encourage anybody that is new to me or new to stamping and not certain about what's all entailed is to go back to that video and watch it. And then you can always reach out to me if you have any questions. Anne loves layers too. I love it. You guys, I feel like you can never have too many layers, and I think I've counted cards where I've had up to like 12 layers. It's like, it makes it for a very thick card, but it makes it very in-depth. So, but just to tell you guys, there's no wrong or right way to make or design a card. Everybody has their own style. Everybody loves their own color combinations. Everybody loves what they love. And as long as you feel good while you're making it, and you feel positive energy, and that you can share what you made with somebody else, that's where the good of it comes. And so there's no right or wrong ways to make cards, you guys. And is it good enough? It is always good enough, and the person that you give it to appreciates it because it was made with love. And I've seen lots of different memes or video, like Facebook pictures of like about handmade cards, and hi Jeannie Parker. And so just remember that it's made with love, and so the person that gets it, they respect and appreciate that. So yes, Arliss, thank you so much. So Arliss just pointed out that I do different levels of classes, the beginners and then more avid. And sometimes in a particular class, I'll try to pull in like an intermediate card, a beginner card, and an advanced card. So one class might have all different levels. So, and the other thing too is I have different types of classes, and sometimes they'll be product-based classes. Sometimes you can get them free with an order. So I do try to offer a lot. I shouldn't say I try to offer a lot. It just happens that way. So, all right. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making 3 cards. Happy Monday to you too, Amy. We're going to be making 3 cards, and they are all featuring the Flowing Flowers set, which is from the Spring Mini Catalog. And when Diane and I make these cards, we like to case other cards and look for layouts that look good with the stamps, or will work with the stamps. And when we're picking the stamp sets for this particular class, we try to find a stamp set that has focal images and sentiments, so that if you're new and you want to get the stamp set, you're getting a nice collection of sentiments with focal images, so that it hopefully sets you up for success. So the stamp set looks like this, and if you don't have this and you have something else, you can always interchange the stamps very easily if you have something floral related. So the Flowing Flowers, we have 2 bigger stamps that we use these. I don't think we pulled in this one at all. Then we've got Happy Birthday, just to know, I love this one, sending a card instead of a text, which is great. And then Time for a Happy Dance. The fonts are really cool, and then the focal images are. So now, if you don't have the stamp set, but you did this class with me, you could interchange something that you have at home. So you don't always have to use the stamp set that I use. And the ink colors that I pulled in, or I should say Diane and I pulled in, were Blackberry Bliss and Basic Gray for that card. We pulled in Misty Moonlight and Polished Pink Soft Succulent for this class, or for this card. And this one was the Soft Succulent and Pale Papaya. So there's 6 ink colors or ink pads, it looks like, that we brought in. Okay, just a final note too about the colors here, that Misty Moonlight is one that is going to be retiring. So you guys, Stampin' Up! Does have ink colors that retire every year. And so this year, in soon, Misty Moonlight, Magenta Madness, Bumblebee, Just Jade, and Cinnamon Cider are going to be retiring. So if you are waiting to get the ink refills or waiting to get the ink pads or stock up on a little paper, you might want to think about doing that now, because I just noticed the Misty Moonlight refill was already on low inventory. And so I just encourage people that want some of the ink colors to get them sooner rather than later, and ensuring that you get them then. So, all right, I will be including that memo in my newsletter when I write it. So it didn't happen yesterday, you guys. I did go up to Stevens Point and visit my brother with Tyler, and we had family time yesterday, and it was good. It feels like when I'm enjoying family time, I feel like I should be doing things, but I have to learn it's okay to have family time and not do stamping things. So I didn't do the newsletter. So you guys, just FYI, it's coming, I promise. So who do we have joining us today for Let's Just Stamp? Oh, it's good. I have a long list here, you guys. So Julie Bierschbach, Kathy King, Barbara Moynan, Jean Terwilliger, Karen Wetstein, Laura Sullivan, Sandy Wicklander, Ann Bellinger, Deanna Stell, Marge Haas, Leslie McMinn, Jeannie Parker, Barbara Barco, Kathy Groves, Dee Serena, Doris Munson, Sue Somerville, Cindy Runtree, Betty Pyle, Kathy Kathy, you're gonna kill me. McMahon, maybe is how I would say it. So you're gonna have to help me with yours. Barbara Godby. So you guys are amazing. I think all of your card kits should be in the mail, except for Barbara Godby. We realized I missed Barbara, and so hers are going in the mail tomorrow. But I believe, and Jeannie Parker, yours are going in the mail tomorrow. But I think, and Cindy Runtree, I'm mailing yours with your Stamp-A-Stack. But I believe everybody else should have theirs, or they are en route. Just remember, if you don't have your card kits, when I do my class like this live, it's okay. The replay will be available for as long as Facebook is around. And I also include a PDF tutorial. So if you don't get to make your cards live with me, you always will have access to this video and the PDF. And I've also heard that, and sometimes it's easier not to make your cards with me and then to make them after, because I do kind of go fast. I have been stamping for a very long time, and I know my cards more than anybody. And so when I get rolling with cards, I generally work a little faster, except for on Thursday night, you guys. I was pretty dead tired. I don't know, at the end of that video on Thursday night, I'm like, I made it through. I don't know how, because I was really tired. And you guys, because that Facebook uploading was taking forever, I was zonking out. I actually went to bed at 10 o'clock on Thursday night, you guys, and I woke up at 6, and then I had to go cut all that paper. My mom got 660 card kits kitted on Friday. I'm going to post some pictures, you guys, to show you what she worked on. I got all the paper cut between 6 and 8:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. Yeah. But so anyways, just a note on that, you guys. I'm a lot more spunky today than I was on Thursday. So, all right. So we're going to make these 3 cards. And as you guys are watching, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to write them in the comments. If for some reason you're watching the replay and you have questions, sometimes I don't get them unless you tag me in the actual comment. So if you're looking for an answer back from me, I really highly encourage you to tag me in the post, or better yet, email me separately, or Facebook message me, or text me, and then I can give you my help and attention. So, okay, all right. I think we're ready to rock and roll hoochie coo, guys. So let me flip down here, and I'm trying to figure out which one do we want to do first. We're going to do this one first because I like this layout a lot. So in your card kits, you guys, if you're new to me, you'll have gotten 3 envelopes, and each envelope contains the paper products, embellishments, and ribbon for the card that we're going to be working on. So this is the card, and it's a little bit of a different design, you guys. This back panel is just a 1/4 sheet of paper, and then this arm here is the flippy uppy part, and then that gets put on the inside. And so it's a little bit different of a layout. And this looks like designer paper here, but you guys, that's really just that stamp that has the flower like this. So, and it's just stamped multiple times. And so we're going to do that. We're going to make this one into a birthday card, and it's going to say sending a card instead of a text. I love that font. I love that greeting. It's so awesome. So in your card kit from me, what you guys would have, and you guys, I don't have any of these card kits left. They were gone. I think I made 20 some, and they're gone. Everybody that I think needs one has one or has it accounted for in my head. I don't believe I have any of these up. Now, Diane is doing this class in a couple weeks. If she happens to have any card kits left, I will say it on a live, and if she does, then she would be willing to sell her card kits, but I have sold out of all of mine. So hi, Melanie Foy. Okay, so what you have in your card kit is a basic gray. It's just a quarter sheet. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then you have this Blackberry Bliss piece, and that Blackberry is 11 by 3. So 11 by 3 and scored at 5 1/2, right in the middle. And so as you are gonna go to fold that, I try to make sure my corners stay lined up good. Hi, Jean Maxwell. And this one, you just burnish the edges like that. And then what you have in your kit, you should have 2 pieces of smoky slate. And they are, what are they? They're 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. So one is gonna go on the top, and one goes on the inside. And then you guys have 2 pieces of white, and the white are the same size as well, 2 1/2 by 5. And one goes on the top, and one goes on the inside. So Diane and I love the double matting for this class. We always love double matting. This little strip of paper is, it's basically a little bit of Blackberry Bliss, and it's about 3/8 by 4 1/4. And then, oh man, I didn't bring my... Of course I do this to myself. So this is smoky slate. It's 1 by 4 1/4. And I banner punched the ends for you guys in your card kit. And I was going to show you how I did that. But of course, I never bring the punch down. I never bring that punch down. So what we're going to do, Jeannie Parker, I have your kits right here. I'm going to steal from Rob Peter to pay Paul. So I'm taking yours out of your card kit. And I promise I will replace it with a punched one right here. So that's how that works. Okay, so you guys will have yours already banner punched. Now, if you don't have a banner punch at home, all you really need to do is take your scissors and then you go like that, and you can do that. But I have, yep, Melanie Foy said, just use your snips. But I want it to be exact. And I'm so I just took Jeannie Parker's, and she won't mind because I will replace it. And so that's for your top here. And then in your kit, you have about 4 inches of this gray granite shiver ribbon. I'm glad you don't mind, Jeannie. You wouldn't know the difference, but I had to just grab your kits were sitting right there. So all I'm going to do is take that gray granite ribbon, and we're going to just tie a little knot. And that's what's going to go onto our card front like that. Okay, so let's get our stamping done first. Let's get our stamping pants on. And so grab out your white pieces and grab out your smoky slate piece here. And we'll set the other stuff off to the side. Now these are red rubber stamps. And by red rubber, I mean that there's red rubber down here. What are friends for? Exactly, Jeannie. I love it. Oh, Jeannie, you guys, wait. I gotta show you a card I got from Jeannie. It's beautiful. Look what Jeannie sent me. I love it. So Jeannie sent me a little lovey-dovey card here. So I love it, Jeannie. What you wrote was awesome. So this was, I picture you and your sisters here, Jeannie. That's what I thought. Hi, Alice from Indiana. I love it, and you made it purple for me. I got this beautiful card from Shannon West for earning the Baltic Cruise. You guys, this one came from, I got to share these cards. Corrine Anderson made this one. This was my mom's thank you card for the Winter Creative Escape. So from Corrine. So I had some happy mail here, you guys. I forgot to show you when we started. So yes, Ann Bellinger, thank you for noting that the kits are gone. I appreciate that. So you guys, this is red rubber. It's a little bit different than photopolymer. Photopolymer is more of a clear stamp like that. So because we're using photopolymer, we don't necessarily need to use a piercing mat underneath. So we're just going to go ahead and stamp on our surface here. The inks here for this one are Blackberry Bliss and Chris, if you are the one that wanted the card kit, what we'll do is we'll have, send me an email. we're going to include you when Diane has not prepped. So you guys, if you do want a card kit, Diane has not even started prepping for her class. And what we can do is include you in Diane's class when she preps. I've already prepped mine and I'm good. I'm on to the next prepping, which is Celebration Hoorah Rah and Heart and Home. So Chris, message me if you really want one and I will add you to Diane's list and you can pay me and then I will pay Diane for it. So it's all good. We can make it happen, okay? All right, so with this, the two ink colors are Blackberry Bliss and Basic Gray. And what I am going to do, though, is grab a sheet of paper because we are going to be stamping slightly off the edge, and I don't want to get ink everywhere. So the Smoky Slate is our happy birthday. And so what you can do, now these are the foam pads, you guys. When you get new stamp pads from Stampin' Up, they are the foam pads, so you don't need to squish very hard. When you do go to stamp, just know the harder you press, you're going to get this halo, like this halo. And we don't necessarily want that halo. So how do you avoid? Hi, Judy Bobo. Hi, Mitzi. Hi, Linda Hall. What you do is you go straight down, let it rest for a second or 2 or 10. We call it marinating, and then you just pull right up, okay? And so I know that went there. So we're going to ink up again, and we're going to stamp it near the middle of our tag here, or our banner sentiment strip. Okay, so it's all about marinating. And I'm stamping this on Smoky Slate, so I really want to make sure the ink adheres to the paper good, like that. Okay, so all we're doing is stamping the happy birthday on our banner strip here. So that's it for the happy birthday. When I'm done stamping, I always get as much ink off and onto my paper as possible before I go to clean it out with my chamois. So then on the inside, I would generally stamp my sentiment first. My focal image is generally good when I do that the first time, but my sentiment, I can get that crooked. And so I like to do that first. Thanks for sharing, Judy Bobo. And then if I stamp it crooked, I can flip it over right away. So we're going to put that guy right about here. So with the Smoky Slate paper, which is cardstock, you want to really make sure you give it a chance to hit that paper. But with the white, you don't have to keep it for so long. Okay, so I stamp off, and then that'll be ready for cleaning when the time comes. And then it's this bigger flower, and we can ink that up. And we're going to put that just in the bottom corner. I always like to do my focal images or something on the inside. If it's not a focal image, you could add designer series paper. Don't worry if you're off the edge. You might feel like you have to put the whole image on there. No, you don't. You can have it peeking onto the corner. And that's why I put this piece of paper underneath, so that I would go over the edge. It wouldn't go on my desk. And so that's my inside. And now for the outside, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flowers and like a little bit up there. But we're basically just creating a background. And so I'm going to ink up and I'm going to put my first flower, primarily my focal flower, up here so that you can almost see the entire thing. Okay, and again, I'm letting that ink just transfer to the paper. Peeking is best, yes, Melanie. So there's one. And then we've got another one that's kind of coming off the side here. So most of it is off the page. So in essence, I wouldn't have had to ink up the entire stamped image, but I didn't think about it. Then there's a little white space there. So I'm going to put a little bit right there to fill that in. Now there's another one right here. And it's kind of hard to see it because it's behind the tag, but we're going to put this one filled in here. So this is what I would call making your background paper or creating your own designer series paper. If you have a stamp that you want to stamp, so there's that. And then we're going to put another one over on the right-hand side. That'll fill in here. Let's go something like that. And remember, this little strip is going to cover up some, so I didn't care if I overlapped a little bit. Right there. And then the last one will fill in on the bottom right here. Okay, so we just basically stamp. Now, if you don't have this stamp set and you have something else that would work, it doesn't even have to be flowers, you guys. It could be anything else that you create a background with. But there, we've just created our own background with that stamp. Okay, so this, I believe, is done. Now, I did reference in the PDF tutorial basic gray ink. I thought I was going to stamp my sentiment in basic gray, but I completely forgot. So that's why I thought, oh, basic gray would be good for the ink color, but you can see here I forgot, and I think Blackberry Bliss looks good too. So in case you're wondering about that whole basic gray listed, that's why. So, all right, so now I've stamped off a little bit, and so I can take my chamois and clean up my stamp so it's ready for when I need to use it next. I don't think we used happy birthday anywhere else, but I'll get these cleaned up. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. So now that we've got our stamping, it's just a matter of assembly. So you guys, this is it. I mean, just a little stampy stampy and then some assembly. So we've got this, let's see what we got. So we could glue both of our white pieces. So I'm going to flip both of those over, and we're going to adhere them to our smoky slate pieces. Now, my adhesive of choice has always been, well, I would say for the last 10 years has been this liquid glue. When you use the liquid glue, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room when you are adhering the two pieces together. And when you use tape runner, you really don't have that wiggle room. So what I mean by wiggle room is I can alter this and squish it around till it gets where it needs to go. And then this one, same thing. So yeah, I got it on here crooked, but then what I can do is just wiggle it and slide it around until I get it to where I want it. Now, tape runner, you could use something like that as well, but you don't have the ability to, I want to say MacGyver it wherever you want it. So, all right. So those are done. And now what we can do is flip both of these over, and they can get adhered to our Blackberry Bliss mat. And so again, we'll just put a little liquid glue around the edges. And that one, so I do want to make sure I have that bigger flower near the top, because that makes a difference when you put that on here, because it's going to open like that. And then this guy is for our inside. And now, then flip this over, and it's going to go right onto the base. So it makes it into a traditional A2 size card. So a little bit on the back. And same thing, you can just pick up then and kind of get it so it's flush at the top and centered left to right. Now, the other thing you could do if you wanted, I didn't do it, but you could stamp something on the sides here in like basic gray or memento or a light gray to give some sort of a background. But it looks pretty just having it like plain like that as well. So then I've got this little strip. It's just a scrap, you guys. This was just a little piece of paper that I had from the end of cutting mats. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little liquid glue on that one, and then that's going to come out the bannered, the edges of the banner on both sides, and try to get it centered as much as you can. Now, when you put this on here, I'm going to pop it up with dimensionals, but I don't want to put dimensionals on the area that's overhanging over here. So how I do that is I would put, so my banner is going to go right about here. I would put a dimensional on the edges on this part, and then put one right in the middle. So I'm basically not putting the adhesive back here, I'm putting it on here. Yes, it's a little bit different of a fun fold, but so you guys, simple can be pretty. I love it when you make a really pretty card and it's just, it's simple, it's not crazy, like it's not rocket science, right? So I think I might put that up just a hair higher. Let's go right about there. And then, so yeah, you guys, it's just a few different mats of paper. Embellishments on the side here, we use the polished dots, and they come with a pink color and a clear color. So I'm going to pull off a little clear one for each side. So that kind of filled in some of that empty space. Now, if you guys use a different sentiment, your sentiment might be longer, or it could be shorter. You could do different things with your embellishments. But there's two there. And then to put your little bow on, Like the tip of placing them. Yes, Melanie. Because then you don't ever have to worry about it going over the edges there and accidentally creating a trick card where you can't open it. So I put my little glue dot here, and then I'm just going to set my little bowsy. It's not even a bow. It's just a little knot. But my tails are going every which way. If you guys see that, they're going crazy. So I'm actually going to help them and show them who's boss. So I'm going to put a little glue dot where I'd like for that tail to go. And I'm going to put a glue dot where I think that tail could go. So that's how I got these to come down like that. Okay? And then when you're all set with it, the last thing I generally do is I trim my tails. So we're going to go like that. Well, I want it a little shorter. So like that, and then this guy can go like that. Perfect. Okay. And I think that's one and done with this card. Nothing too crazy. We talked about it. Simple but beautiful. And then it's nice because it's not traditional. It's a little bit different. The flipping up and down, and then also it having it on a mat. So there you go. That's card number 1, you guys, for Let's Just Stamp. How did you like it? We love this layout. If you don't want to stamp here, this layout is perfect for, hi France, for designer paper. If you use this piece being designer paper, it really showcases the designer series paper. All right, so that one's done. Blackberry Bliss is super pretty with the basic gray. Okay, so that one's done. We'll set that one there for now. And we're gonna do this one. I love the colors on this. So, hi Myrtle, I'm glad you like it. Thanks Randy, thanks Doris, thanks Sandy. Oh, you guys are giving me lots of hearts, I love it. Okay, so this one's next, and I'll show you the inside. So you've got the double matting with the polished pink and then a white. So that's what it looks like. And we'll get these guys out and we'll bring these in. So this one, you probably got your kit and you're like, what is up with all these little scrappy pieces? Some of you got bigger pieces and some got scraps, but not scraps, I should say, but you only, these are the part of this flower right here. So I'm going to show you how we need to do that to get that. Because you're like, I only have a stamp that looks like that, but she made it look like that. How do you do that? We will learn. The size of the Blackberry paper genie, the arm, so I call it the arm, it was 11 inches. So it was the length of an 8.5 by 11, so 11 inches, and it was only 3 inches wide. Okay, and it was scored in the middle at 5.5. So 3 by 11 scored at 5.5. That was the Blackberry. Okay, so this one pulls in the Misty Moonlight and Polished Pink. Both of them are in colors. Now the Misty's retiring in May, if not sooner. Hi Hildenel. Polished Pink is sticking around. It's the Magenta Madness that I believe is leaving with the Misty Moonlight. So your traditional card mat or card base is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. And then in your kit, you guys, you will have a piece of polished pink, 2 of them actually. They're the same size. One's for the inside, one's for the outside. You'll have 2 white mats. One is for the inside and one is for the outside. Then you have this paper. Anybody want to guess where this one is from? We pulled this in from the annual catalog. This designer paper comes from Expressions in Ink. Okay, we love that paper, so pretty. And so to bring in the gold was so good. This designer paper was 5 1/16 by 2. You guys should also in here, I know Misty Moonlight is one of my favorites. You also have a piece of gold. It's just a little sliver here. It's a 1/2 inch by 5 1/16. That'll be for our seam. And then you guys will have some white paper. So I think I gave people like a piece like this and maybe a piece like that. You only need enough to make 2 flowers and 2 sets of leaves. Okay, so you have enough white paper in your kit for that. Then there's also a little bow in your kit that I made using the polished pink open weave ribbon. So that will be in your card kit. Yeah, this is like a very elegant, like the gold makes it look very elegant. So, okay, let's do some stamping. So we need the thank you, and we need this big doodad here, that one, and I have the thank you. Now, when I make thank you cards, I generally don't put anything on the inside because I like to be able to write the whole thing full of whatever I want it to be. So I'm going to leave that to look just like this. Yeah, Judy, it's really sad when our favorite colors. Oh, not quite navy. Ah, I love that. Misty Moonlight is very similar. I would definitely agree. So we're going to take these pieces and these pieces. You guys, this is my magic of TV here. You guys didn't get these cut out and stamped in your kits, but I did them early so that you didn't have to watch me fussy cut. So let's set this stuff off to the side, and we're going to stamp here. Oh, Sue, I'm glad you love the bow maker. Okay, I have to tell you guys about the bow makers. So my neighbor makes them, my old neighbor. I used to actually babysit for his kids back 25 years ago. And so he makes them for me now. And the nails are really tight. So if you guys have gotten a bow maker from me and you try to use your fingernail, don't ever try to use your teeth to pull out those nails. You'll chip your tooth. Just know that you need to get a pliers and pull them out with a pliers. And as you put them in and out of the hole, and the hole for the nails on the top, they will start to loosen up. But the first time you go to pull those nails out, you guys, they're going to be super tight. So you do need to get a pliers. I did do a Tip Tuesday. I have just sold maybe about 15 bow makers in the last 3 weeks, you guys. So if you're new to me, just know there is a Tip Tuesday that I did about a year ago. It was sometime in February last year. If you search for bow maker on my Facebook page, you will find the video, okay? So Tip Tuesday bow maker, and it shows you how to make bows. It's always out there. Okay, so this one we're gonna need some Misty Moonlight ink, the polished pink ink, and the soft succulent. So we're gonna start off with the Misty Moonlight, and we're gonna do the thank you first. I wanna teach you how to do that. So Misty Moonlight first, and what we're gonna do is just go like this. And so you're probably guessing like, well, how do I know where to stamp that? So like you could take a random guess and go somewhere up in the corner, but I don't like to always guess. So what I will do is I'm gonna actually get my scrap paper here. We're gonna put this here. I'm just gonna practice stamping to make sure that it stamps really good. Okay, the ink is good. So what I'm going to do is this piece of designer paper, I'm gonna kind of use it down here as a mat. And now I have less wiggle room or guessing of where. If you're just trying to guess, oh my gosh, it goes up here, you can guess. But I like to have a little more definitive plan for stamping. Look at you rocking your new job. Yay! You got it, Deanne. Okay, so now you can kind of guess it's gonna be up on this little area, and now you can center it. And this little gold strip will actually go here as well, right? That's gonna give you a little wiggle room with how you stamp it. And you're gonna stamp this now in that top right corner. Give it a second for it to get inked up on your paper. Oh, Sue, you got the video. Awesome. Nice, nice. Yeah, whenever you guys ask for certain videos, I try to refer you to them or tag you in them. Perfect. So that's it for the Misty Moonlight ink. So it was just the little thank you. And I'm gonna stamp off. So that's ready to clean. So that's it for this piece. So we'll set that off to the side. And now for our inside. I've got this pink flower, and I didn't worry about the little dots all getting full of pink. That was fine with me. I don't want any of the leaves on there though. So when I ink this up, I'm gonna ink up most of it. I'm not worried about the leaves. And what's gonna happen is I'm gonna hold this in such a manner that I don't get the leaves on my white paper. And so I'm gonna stamp it or hold it something like this. And that's just gonna go in the bottom right-hand corner. Again, part of it is off the edge of the paper. Oh, thanks, Holly. Okay, so that's that. And then we have your scraps now. So what we need from these scraps, we need 2 flowers and 2 sets of leaves. So these 2 are the bigger pieces, and I'm going to use those for the flower. I don't care about getting ink anywhere else, but I ultimately want, so let's see if I can get it this way, that I don't waste as much paper. I don't know if it'll work, but I need 1 pink flower here, and I'm going to do another pink flower here. Now the important thing on this now is you've got your 2 pink flowers, You are going to have to fussy cut them, guys, so sorry. This is the only way this will work. Now, you're gonna open up your soft succulent, and before you go to it though, you gotta make sure that this guy is cleaned up really good, because we're only gonna want to stamp 2 sets of leaves. We don't care about the flower now. Okay, so it's like I'm powdering it's behind here. So as long as I got this in my hand, I'm gonna take care of the thank you. And one thing is, I like to, if I'm gonna use another ink right away, I would do like just to get any watery residue that's on it off. I want these leaves right here. And actually, I don't even need these extra scraps because I will be able to fit them right there. So I'm gonna ink up just part of this right here, and I'm focusing on getting my leaves. So, okay, so there's one set. Hi, Shauna Burns. Hi, Chris Duderenke. And there's another one. So Chris, I don't know if you're in the area, but I do have your white frayed ribbon for you on the counter in the mudroom. I don't remember if you're coming to class on Wednesday or not, but it's there if you are in the area. So there's that, and I might as well clean this up. So 1 stamp, and we're gonna get 2 flowers and 2 sets of leaves out of it, okay? Now what you have to do, so sorry, but you do have to fussy cut. There's no way around it. And you guys, until you, and this is what happens if you don't have a die for a set of stamps, you will have to fussy cut it. So what you're gonna do is, cutting the flower, I just went around and I stayed close to the edge. Cut those leaves off, cut those little dots off, and you're just gonna go around it like that, okay? So you're gonna cut your flower, and then you're gonna cut your sets of leaves. So you don't have to worry about that chunk there, but what you want is your set of leaves there. And you're gonna cut out that. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna end up with something like this, a flower, and 2 sets of leaves. That's it. So I'm pretty sure I gave everybody enough white paper to accommodate getting this. This is what your goal was to get that. So, okay. Let's set those over there, and I think that we're at a point that's ready to assemble. So just because the stamp looks like this doesn't mean you have to use it just like this. You can definitely improvise and cut things apart. You could stamp the whole thing. You could even use markers. You could color this flower with a marker. You could color the leaves with a marker. You could color the little dots with a yellow marker or any other color and completely stamp at one time with all different colors on it. But I don't like to do that so much because my inks get blended together, and yeah, this is how I like to do something like this. Okay, so what we can do is get glue happy. So we're gonna take our 2 white mats. Hi, Stacy Warner. And take our 2 white mats, and we're going to put our adhesive on the back of them and adhere them to the polished pink mats. So there's one. And that goes here. And then this one can go onto this piece. So my white mat is not, it's set to the 16th. So it's 3 13/16 by 5 1/16, in case anybody's wondering. And then I'm gonna put, I should have done this first, but I do generally always advise adhering the designer paper down first, because if I cut it a hair longer, you guys can trim it off before putting it onto the pink. So I think I had tested it and it was the same length, so I was okay. But if your designer paper is a little bit longer, I would glue your designer paper onto the white so that you can trim the edge off if you need to. Okay, so then this is going to go at the bottom here. Thanks for sharing, Marilyn. Okay, so that goes here. All right, and then that little bit of foil then will go over the top. Now this is where you can go up as high or as low as you want. I'm bringing it down just to make the white more even. If you stamped yours up higher, you could have your gold go up a little higher. Something like that. And then these flip over. And we're gonna put these onto our Misty Moonlight base. So that's our top one. You guys, if you see me, I always try to open up to make sure I'm not gluing it upside down. If you do glue it upside down, it's okay. We call those trick cards. You can definitely give it to somebody that would appreciate it. I have done that before because the card is perfectly good and it's very entertaining to the person who gets it if you do give them an upside down card. Okay, so Misty Moonlight with polished pink is what I've got. Now, we've got a little bit left here. And it's hard to see dimension in the video, but I do have these tops popped up and my bottoms flat. And then I tuck my leaves in. So you'll not generally find me attaching things to the back of my flowers. I like to tuck things in. And so to prep this, I would take my 2 flowers and we're gonna put dimensionals at the tops of them. And don't be afraid to use those edges of your dimensional sheets. So we're going to put those at the top, pick them off, and then a little bit of liquid glue at the bottom. So you guys, if you've watched me a time or two, you know that I use different types of adhesives on one thing. So like here I did dimensionals and liquid glue. So I'm going to put this bottom one down first, something like that. And then this one I'm going to put down a little bit so that they're kind of staggered. So at a diagonal like that. Okay. And then the little leaves, because I didn't put too much glue near the edge, I'm going to be able to sneak my leaves in. So, let's see here. There's going to be a little dimensional there. And one, oh, that's just the top. Let's get the dimensional. There we go. Yes, Cindy, the striped designer paper really is pretty, the gold. So if you guys have any golden anniversaries coming up, like grandparents or parents, the gold is really pretty. So I popped up the edge of the one, and then I'm going to do, I jewel a little liquid glue right at the bottom for those. And then what's going to happen, I'm just going to tuck. So I'm going to kind of lift up that one and tuck that in. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And so I don't generally try to ever, hi Mary Jean, attach leaves and stuff to the backs of my flowers. You see what I did? I just put the flowers down and then I tucked the leaves in at the side, and it makes it look just like they were meant to be right there. And then the last thing on, well, not last, we've got 2 things left. We have our little bowsy here. Hi, Marcia Coolbert. So I've got, you guys, everybody's got a little polished pink bow in their kit, and that's going to go right in the middle of that area where they all the flowers and leaves meet. I'm going to grab a glue dot and put that little glue dot right in that nook right there. And figure out how your bow is going to look best. And I always put the little knot of the bow into the glue dot. Now, this case, that one looks like it's going perfect. He's kind of, he might work. If my bows or my tails go wonky different ways, I will glue them down. But in this case, I might not, because they both kind of are sitting pretty how I like them. Okay, so trim your little tails. And we have some genial gems. So in your kit, you guys should have 3 genial gems. So there's 3 different sizes for the genial gems. There's small, medium, and large, like your big meal or your Big Mac, small, medium, and large. So there's a large and a small. And I put those 2 on the left side. And then I put the medium one on the right side over there to kind of fill in that little hole there. Or I gave you 2 small. Actually, I don't like the medium. I don't remember what I gave you guys. If I gave you 2, I think I gave 2 small and a medium and a large. I think the small looked better over there. Yeah, the medium was too big. So I can't remember, you guys. so much has happened since these cards got put in the mail. I know I gave you 3 of them. That I do know. And I know one was a large one. I just can't remember if they were too small or a medium and a small. So, all right. I get these guys in there. And, oh, you guys, we forgot about Stella-ing. So, let's see here. So we got our Stella pen. This is going to be hard because I am a little afraid to Stella these flowers because sometimes the ink might blend around, but it's actually not going to happen. So the ink is just staying put, so that's good. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Stella on those flowers. Interesting. I'm wondering, I'm going to do the little tails here on both sides. And then the other thing you guys could do, I'm afraid to do these flowers because I feel like the purple, well, let's try it on the inside one. You guys might see what I'm talking about. Sometimes when you color Stella over a stamp, it makes the color, oh, it does. It makes it blend together. I don't know if you guys can see this. It smears it. You can see what's happening is the color is blending together. You can see what's happening here, guys. I think you can. That's what Stella will do. If you don't want, and I did it on the inside, so you can't really, like it's off to the side here. I'll just do a little bit more on this side to make it like look like that was meant to be. Do the inside. See, that's what happens when you color with Stella sometimes. It blends it together. And I knew that was going to happen, so I wasn't going to do it on the outside. But you could definitely Stella your edges here, and you could Stella this one border, the Blackberry Bliss border. You could do it all the way around the edge. Sometimes it's like there's not a lot that you can Stella, but I always love to put a little Stella on a card just to give it a little bit of glitz. So you just go all the way around the edges like this. Okay, perfect. So we got Stella back in action. Good deal. All right, 2 cards done. Woohoo! All right, so we'll set those off to the side and work on our very last card for this class. So this last one I saved it for last because it's not intimidating, but there is something tricky about it. And I will be the first to admit that I probably have everybody's inquiring minds wanting to know, how do you make that happen? Oh, that's a good idea, Carissa. She says she Stella's on the sentiment before she stamps the sentiment. That's cool. Very, very cool. All right, so this is the card we're going to do. Last but certainly not least. Okay, you guys, what does it mean to case the catalog? I'm going to show you. So Diane and I were looking at this stamp set in the catalog. So I don't know what page it is, but in case you are curious, there is a index at the back here. Flowing Flowers is on page 36. We were looking for inspiration and ideas. And so when we looked at the stamp set, we're like, oh, well, that's a pretty card. We like that card. But we're like, well, we want more. We want more. More layers, more ribbon, more bling, more stuff. So if you look at that, that is where we got our inspiration for the card from. But you can see we added embellishments, we added ribbon, we added all the foliage, we added another layer, we stamped the background. So we started with this for our idea. And that's what the catalog is there for. And actually this right here, you guys, this in the catalog is where we got our inspiration for this card. We saw what they did with those 2 flowers, that they fussy cut them, and they fussy cut out 2 sets of leaves. And that's how we ended up with this ensemble assortment over here, was by looking at this card. Now, this card looks nothing like this, but that's where we got our inspiration from. And the last card, we had just cased a card that we made previously. So, all right. So there's in case inquiring minds are wondering. Okay, so in this one now, in your card kit, you will have your soft succulent Evening Evergreen Pale Papaya. That's what got used for this one. So it's your traditional card base, just 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. It's a vertical card, so remember that. In your kit, you'll have 2 mats here for your inside. One is the Pale Papaya, one is your basic white for your inside. And you can see we've stamped just a flower. Now this is the one where we use just a note. Makes me think of Just for Men, just a note. And so that's here. And it's stamped. Oh, I didn't grab, I did not grab Evening Evergreen. So let's grab that. And we need Evening Evergreen and Pale Papaya. Oh, one more ink pad. Sorry, guys. There was one more ink pad. All right. So then we have in your kit a piece of basic white with a mat that is Evening Evergreen. You have a piece of white for your note. You have some evergreen chevron ribbon. And then this is from the bow punch, I think. So in the back of this catalog, in case you guys are wondering, there's the bow punch. And it is a punch that has 2 little sprigs on it. And one of the sprigs looks like that. And the other sprig looks like that. And then there's also one more that is with the shimmer vellum. So it's like vellum on steroids. No, it's like vellum with Stella on steroids. So it's very like glitterific. Okay, so this is what's in your kit. And then you also have some genial gems. Okay, so let's set these little guys off to the side. And we'll put our ribbon over there. And we need to get stamp happy. So let's grab our white pieces here. And just a note is stamped closer to the right-hand side. And then that left a little room for our leaves to come hanging down. And ink up good. And we're gonna grab our little scratch paper here. See how our inky dinky do stamps? Good. Okay, so again, remember it's a little bit closer to the right and save room for an embellishment. And we'll give it a second here for the ink to transfer to the paper. Good, very, very nice, very nice. And I think that the rest is pale papaya, except for, if you guys notice, on the background here, there is, you guys, I just realized it. That is that oddball little stamp. Him. I forgot we used him. So he's in the same set. And I think you have 2 options for stamping that background. You can accomplish that effect by 2 things. Using, that's not what I wanted. Using the same color ink as the paper, or you can use a Versamark pad. Well, I did not include a Versamark pad in the instructions or the PDF tutorial, so I did include soft succulent. So that's what we will use, is soft succulent. And it's actually, we just create a little border. Now, if you stamp this at full strength, it's gonna be super dark. But what you can do is stamp it at second strength. So it's gonna take a little bit of going around the edge here, and every time you do want to remember to stamp off. But what I'm doing is creating this little bit of border around the edge. And you don't have to do the whole front. Remember that all gets covered up right there. So it's that little stamp, and I'm trying to wiggle around and make it so it's not consistent all the way, like the same pattern. So now I'll adjust my flowers on here just slightly so that it doesn't stay uniform. Okay, and then this side has a little bit, and then we'll do one like that. So in essence, what it's done is created this texture all around the edge. Okay, that we used it. I'm so excited. I forgot that we did. Okay, then that was it for soft succulent. Now we have that big flower stamp with pale papaya. And we clean that, so that's good. And so we're gonna grab a new sheet of paper. Put that here. What happens when you stamp over the top of a color, sometimes that color gets picked up onto your stamp. So I don't want that to happen with this. So we're gonna ink up. I don't know how inky dinky do this pad is, but we're gonna, so it's a lot lighter. You guys can hardly see that. So I'm going to show you how to re-ink an ink pad. And I do have a Tip Tuesday for this, but we're going to do it quick before we finish here. So I want that to be just a little bit more darker and pronounced. So what you do is, these are little reinkers that you can get through me or Stampin' Up. And you just put that all over your ink pad. Now you can't just leave it like that. You're going to have lots of streakies. Oh, I'm glad that that Vicky, that I hold them up that you can see them better. I guess what I do is I watch along with, and if I can't see it from where I am, then you probably can't see it from where you are either. So you take the spoon and you massage those lines out. I hope you guys saw that they just disappeared as you start blending them. You have to take a spoon to blend those lines, otherwise you're gonna have streakies on your stamp. Okay, so then you can just wash that out. This is water-based ink, so the refills are important, you guys, if you want to be able to re-ink your ink pad. So watch the difference now here. So you see here, that one was before I re-inked up, and now that was after, and it just is a little darker, and that's what I wanted. So let's ink this up, and there's one main focal flower right here towards the top right. So that's gonna get stamped right about there. Okay, so that's what I've got there. And then there's two more on the bottom. One in the bottom right corner, and then one in the bottom left corner. And don't worry that they don't meet, because we have that strip that's gonna go over. Then on our inside is just a flower on that bottom corner here. Just like that. Okay. So I'm going to shut this up while that marinades. And so that's our bottom corner. Perfect. All right, now for the magical part here. So you are going to need, oh, I don't even know if I referenced it. A scissors works too. I don't know if I referenced. I grabbed an X-Acto knife actually. So if you see, there's a bow here. Oh, I don't know if I grabbed a bow for my sample, but I'll have to go get some. These little leaves, their tails need to go underneath. It doesn't work so good to just cut the tails off and then like glue them. So honestly, this is what we did, guys. So we have our X-Acto knife, and so just to kind of prep, this is gonna go right about here. And there is a section right here where it divots in slightly, right there. I'm gonna take my X-Acto knife, and don't put your finger right where it is. I promise you, you will poke yourself and draw blood. So make sure your finger's not behind where you're poking. Hi, Donna, joining late. Hi, Barbara Gavi, joining late. I'm just taking, and I'm gonna take my X-Acto knife, and I'm piercing the paper, see? I didn't have my finger back there, no blood, yay. Okay, so I just made a little slit there, okay? You might need to wiggle it just a little bit to make it open up. What we're doing is, okay, we're gonna get all of these foliages in there. But before I put this one in, I might say it's time to get Stella out before we do this one. Oh, thanks, Jeannie, I will. That's a good idea. Then I don't have to stand up and go over to the other side of the room. Thank you. So I'm gonna Stella these guys before I put them into my card. Okay, so I got Jeannie's, as long as we're talking about the bow. It's this guy. I'll leave it out of the kit until, let's see, here's your little guy. That's what you guys should have in your kit, is one of these little open weave soft succulent ribbons. Okay, so we talked about piercing this. So now what we have to do is we have to put these leaves in. So you're gonna put the one in and then slide the other guy in. Now you might need to make a little more room, but once they start to come, okay, so now I've got two poked through. Now there's not a lot of wiggle room left for this little dude here, but this one should fit in there too. So here's what you've got. You got this little tail coming through the back side, guys. And now they're wonky like this, right? So it's okay. Primarily this guy's gonna go here, this one's gonna go here, and that one's gonna go about there. And what I wanna do for right now is just tape the back of that down. So I'm going to grab my tear-in tape and just secure the backs of them. So the reason I did it behind the white and not through this green, because I could have adhered this green layer, but then you would have had to pierce through two pieces of paper, and that's harder, okay? So I wanted to go through one, get those tails in there, and now they're secure for right now. I'm not gonna worry about them so much now. I'm gonna find the cover for this right there. So if you don't have an X-Acto knife, you guys, scissors like this would work too. Just don't hurt yourself, you guys, because it's not normal to pierce the paper like that. So now I'm going to take that tear and tape off because it acts as extra adhesive. This is going to get glued onto our evening evergreen mat. We have the ability to finagle those how we want to in a second. Yeah, you know, so we could have cut the tails off, Cindy. That's really a good statement. We could have cut them, but then they're just loose on here. Now we have them very secure, and I'm going to add just a couple dots of glue or some dimensionals behind, and then they're not going to fall off, and the ends aren't going to like come loose, right? Because they're tucked under there. All right, so next is this evening evergreen ribbon. Like that will go on, and we also have our little sentiment that's going to sneak up in here. So what I'm going to do is put my back with my tear and tape to prep it, because you guys, I like to do my tear and tape sandwich. So we're going to put that here, take the paper off, or not the, yeah, whatever this waxy paper is, and I'm going to kind of put my, so the Just a Note is longer than the evening evergreen. It does hang over a little bit. So get our sentiment strip where we want it, and then what I'm going to do is kind of feed this underneath. So I have an idea that it's going to go right about there. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way. And now I've kind of got an idea that the ribbon is going to go right there. Tuck my tails behind. And then add a little more tear and tape over the top. And I'm actually going to make it so long that it covers up. I really did not guess correctly where my tear and tape was supposed to go. So I am not going to be peeling this tear and tape off though. I'm leaving it because I want to put dimensionals back here. If I peel off this tear and tape, my card is going to want to be stuck flat in that area, and then it's going to want to pop up everywhere else. So that's why I put the tear and tape back over the top. So this is prepped with, and I'm going to do one more right there. Okay, so take your backs off of your dimensionals. Okay, I think I got them all. And then that's what's going to go onto our card front here. I have it to the left. You can see it's more to the left. And it's not centered top to bottom. It's just in a random spot. It's a little higher, and it's a little bit more to the left. So something like that. And then this little guy, he's getting popped up as well. And so the thing is with my ribbon, I don't want to put dimensionals where the ribbon is because it'll be kind of tilted. So what I try to do is I'm going to put some dimensionals right above where the ribbon is. And then I don't risk going over the edge either. So now I'm going to slip the sentiment strip. I could get that little guy out from under there. There. Now this is going to go, you can decide how much ribbon you want to see. Something like that. Okay. So far so good, guys. I know this might be a little bit backwards than some of you put your cards together, but I always try to do things in a manner that helps me make sure that they are straight and things are peeking out, and that I don't have to guess a lot. So these things right here, dimensionals. I do want to put a couple dimensionals, but they got to be small enough that they aren't seen coming out the edge. So like right here, I'm going to flip this guy back over and put a little dimensional right behind that leaf, and then he's going to be good. Now he's set. I am going to also do it to this one back over here, and let's see if I get that off of there. Okay, so then this little leafy is going to get one as well, and I'm going to leave the rest because I know that they're secure under here, and I love things to have depth. So these are kind of just hanging out. If you like yours to be more secure, you could definitely add a little, like what you could do is take a little dot, like if you really wanted, you could take a little dot of liquid glue and put it right on that, and then that helps to like kind of keep it flat if you want to. Now, right now, you can see the slit right there yet. And that's okay because you have this little piece of soft, succulent, open weave ribbon, and you're going to do the same thing like you did on the gray ribbon. You're just going to make yourself a little knot, not even a knot, it's just a little tie, and we're going to get a mini glue dot. Oh, Sue, I'm glad that you liked how I did the leaves. That's what we came up with, and it actually was, it made it look more real, like the leaves are coming out the back of the flower. And now you can put, let's see what looks better. We're going to put, I think maybe it would be better this way. You're going to just set that little knot right into where the glue dot is, and that's what covers up the little slice that you made. And then trim that tail, trim that tail. Okay, and then almost done with this one too. Some Genial Gems. You guys, the Genial Gems are amazing. That's what we used for ink, paper, scissors last week. You should have 3 of them in your kit. Let's see here. Oh man, I used up all the pale papaya. So, I think I used up all my pale papaya on the, you know what, we're just gonna use all green then. You guys would have 2 pale papayas and a green, but these are gonna look just as pretty with just the, see, it look, so here this is what you guys will have, some pale papayas, but then on this one I just use soft succulent, and both are very pretty. Okay, we're not quite done. We still have to do our inside. So let's put those away and put these back. And then this gets liquid glue. Yeah, so these in colors that they put together this year were just awesome. They all went so good. I think Evening Evergreen and Misty Moonlight were 2 of my favorite colors this past year. I used them quite a bit. And then this goes with a little liquid glue back here. And that goes on the inside. So the double matting, you guys, Diane just goes crazy for the double matting. And I love it too. I don't always do it though because it adds an extra inside, but you guys at home, like, definitely do that double matting because it just pulls everything so together. So for this class, I have told Diane we can always do double matting. I'm good with that. So this is what we've got then on this one, you guys. Soft Succulent, Evening Evergreen, Pale Papaya, all 3 new in colors. Just so pretty. Using the flowing flowers. Just a note, wouldn't you love to get a card like this one in the mail? So pretty. Or hand delivered. Hand delivered is always good too. So let me put this guy off to the side, and I'm going to bring all 3 cards in again to show you. Sometimes they don't like to go in there so easily. All right, so let's bring all, oh, I got lots of hearts. I love it. Okay, so this is what we got, you guys. We've got a lot of in colors. Well, these 2 outside ones really featured the in colors. So Marsha loves all 3. Laura said your favorite is this one, I'm thinking, the green one. Double matting brings so much to the card, Susan. Yes, I definitely agree. If I had to pick just one, there's something so elegant about this Misty Moonlight and the polished pink. Just pops. I don't know. It reminds me of my grandma too. My grandma loved flower cards with the pink. So love it. Yes, would love this card. Yes, Melanie, I would too. Sue loves them all. All right. Oh, thanks, Sue Thomas. I'm so happy you guys found me too. So you guys, crazy. I have 72 people watching, and on Monday, it's Monday afternoon at 2:30 Central. We have 72 people. That's about as many people. I think for ink, paper, scissors, we hit like a little over 90, and that's general. Sometimes it's usually between 70 and 90. It just depends what people have going on. So, oh, Sandy says that I never make one card she doesn't like. That's awesome. Judy Bobo, you picked the middle one. Awesome. Yay. Okay. So, okay, Tip Tuesday is going to be tomorrow, you guys. I haven't decided if it's going to be live or pre-recorded. I haven't figured that out yet. So just know that that will be happening tomorrow. Kelly will have Technique Thursday for you guys on Thursday. And then I'll be live again with another online class with you guys on Thursday at 6 Central. It's the Gumball card, the Ranunculus Romance, and the other one. The rainbows, okay? So it's Thursday at 6 Central. I do have kits left. I don't know how many I have left. I made 44 sets of cards. And I think that I have 17, 27, 34, 38 signed up. 39 signed up. And so I have maybe 6 left, if that. So if you, yeah, Zane, you said 8:30 p.m. for you. Yeah, definitely. Oh, so I caught you before you went to bed, because usually you're watching me at midnight. So this is good. So you guys, I have about 5 sets of the monthly cards left. So in case anybody would like to get in on that, please message me soon so I can say yes. No burning dinners, Melanie said. I love it. So, oh, Jeannie Parker, you want for Thursday night. So, Jeannie, I'll sign you up for that. I got your name on the list. You guys, I'm going to do the drawing really quick here for the George prize drawing for those that placed orders to get this class for free. Susie said the Blackberry Bliss is your favorite. That's awesome. So you guys, that's awesome. So it's very different answers that everybody had different favorite ones. It's awesome. So yes, Jeannie Parker, I have you down for the monthly class. I will plan to mail your kits with your other class. So don't send money quite yet because I will save you some shipping. So you guys, I don't know if you figured this out yet. Most of you have that get lots of classes from me. Whenever I can consolidate shipments, I do try to throw in a couple extra bucks to send back to you to offset the shipping that was saved. So Jeannie, don't send me that. Don't send me money yet because I don't know how much it won't be the full amount because you're going to get consolidated shipping. So woohoo. Okay. So we had, let's see here. What did I forget? I always think I forget something, but I did a count. I had 5 people that placed orders to get the class for free. And so what happens is when you place an order, it helps me build host credit and it allows me to get prizes. And sometimes from last catalog, I have extra stuff that I got extra because sometimes I have to guess on what I need to have for classes, right? So it always depends. Like, do I have 40 people sign up? Do I have 70? So I'm able to give back. And so I started this a few months ago, even maybe 6 months ago. I don't remember, but I will do a random number generator, and so I'll have a prize from my vault, and then whoever gets it, it goes in with your next card kit package that you get from me. So when you send me money, yes, and my mom says, well, shipping, it's just funny. I'm like, Mom, like if I can save somebody shipping, I will. I hate spending money on shipping, right? I hate it. So I have to think that everybody hates it if I hate it. So if I can save people money on shipping, I will. And I usually do it on the back end when I know when I have my classes ready to go out in the mail, because I don't know it when I collect money if I can consolidate classes or not. So I do it on the back end. So yes, you guys always look in that package if I've consolidated classes, if you have a couple bucks in there or not. So, okay. So I'm going to flip the camera down, you guys, and we're going to go to random number generator. And I believe I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. So we are going to do that. Random, no, 5 people. So I'm going to put 5 in here. And when I click generate, it's going to tell me did I have 5? It put number 5. Out of 5 people, it picked number 5. So guess who that is? That was Kathy Groves. Kathy, you were the last person to place an order to get this class for free. So I will include a little present for you. And you have a package going out tomorrow. Ooh, do you? Yes, you got, I think, sale-a-bration, hoorah, rah. So the next class you have going out, Kathy, I will make sure to include a little present for you. So perfect. Good deal. So, all right, you guys. I don't know if I have anything else. He claims your shipping refund. Oh, man, that's funny. Oh, good. So, you guys, yes, congratulations to Kathy Groves. Woohoo! So, sale-a-bration continues, guys, till February 28th. We've had congratulations to Tracy Sort and Linda Zaleski. They are the newest Be Happy Stampers to join the Be Happy Stampers team. If anybody's on the fence or thinking about becoming a discount shopper or a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, they're kind of the same thing, and you want to join my team, I would be honored and it would be lovely to have you join the Be Happy Stampers. We have about 80 people on the team, you guys, and we're growing, and I just love to help people accomplish what they need to when they have goals. Sometimes you don't have a goal. Sometimes you just want to be a happy shopper. So just know that I would welcome you onto the team, and so would my whole team. I had just gotten home from work. Woohoo, Sue. Okay. Happy Meal is always good. Yes, Sue. I agree with you. So yes, so the promotion for becoming a Stampin' Up! Discount shopper or Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and joining my team is you get 2 free stamp sets in addition to picking out $125 worth of product for only $99. And if you don't have anybody else that you're working with and you'd love to join my team, I would be happy and honored to have you guys. So yeah, little plug there. We'll putz in with some other projects. Awesome, Judy. Yep, it's good to have me on in the background. So, all right, you guys. Well, lots of sunshine, love, and hugs to you. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. If you look in here, look how bright it looks. It's so different than doing a live at 6 o'clock at night when it's dark. It's actually bright and cheerful, and the light is so shiny. So it's so good. So, all right, you guys, lots of love to you. Bye.